So, is this 26?
Number 26.
Wow, 26. Hey, is it ever going to stop raining?
No.
Aren't you like depressed?
Yeah.
And it's not even warm.
Yeah, I feel
Here it
terrible.
is, June 18th or 17th.
Yeah.
And I get in the car in the morning and I'm freezing. I got to have a fleece or I got to have some kind of sweater
I
or
know.
something like that because it's like 58 degrees and
Yeah.
it's gray.
My heated seats come on automatically.
Oh yeah, I have mine set at 50, but I mean it's crazy.
I know.
It's like I'm driving to work. I got a little part-time job that I'm retired, driving to work, and it's like it's just I don't
miserable.
understand
It's
it.
miserable. Well, we took a ride out to Jersey yesterday, and
Oh
it
yeah,
was
we
same
saw
thing.
our friend Mike.
Yeah, our friend Mike that's helping us promote
Yeah,
our
our friend
thing
Mike,
here.
and it was good to see him. It really was.
Yeah, we just had lunch, spent a few hours out there, but it was fun. But again, rain, driving there,
Yeah, driving,
driving home.
rain, this, that. It's just like, when does it end? My plants are they're like got signs. Too much rain. I'm waterlogged.
Yeah, there's a guy that runs a strawberry patch field thing, and
Yeah,
he makes money. He lost $20,000 in crops.
because of the too much
It's
rain.
too much rain. Yeah, but look at the bright side. It only rained 3 times. One 20 days in a row, one 30 days in a row, and one 15 days in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then what's going to happen is July's going to hit, and then what's going to happen now? Florida weather.
Florida weather, yeah, 90 degrees,
95 and humid.
humid, no rain.
God. Yeah, and I don't hear nothing about a drought this year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And the fire, that little fire gauge with Smokey the Bear,
Yeah.
that thing better be on a good
Yeah.
through all those rain. But before we get started, and we got a lot to talk about with all this war and Israel, and I don't know, man, not good. So we're just gonna wing it tonight. We don't have anything specific, but I
There's so much that we don't know what to talk
Yeah,
about in a way, if you think about it.
it's scary in kind of a way, but
It
but
is
first I
scary.
wanted to say thank you to everybody who participated in the No Kings protest.
Yeah.
I really want to thank you all because
Yes.
I'm telling you, if it wasn't for you, we'd have a king here. But now we don't have a king anymore. No more king, no more Nazi. You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, so I got that out of the way.
Got that out of the way.
Speaking of protests, before we get into the Israel thing, because it's going to be a long one, there was a sheriff in Florida.
Yes. In Broward County, which is north of Daytona Beach.
Okay.
It's on the Treasure Coast. Or no, I'm sorry, the Space Coast.
He said to these people, these protesters, whatever, and if you do this, you're gonna get that. If you spit on us, you're gonna go to the hospital. You're gonna go to prison. But what he said to people that if you are driving into a mob and they start banging on your car and you got your family in there and you think you're gonna get harmed, drive away. Drive. And I think people are taking that to heart. Now, even in LA, there was a recent video, and I'll show you the clip here. Hold on. So now I'm not saying that was correct, but this guy drove in the intersection. It looks like the protests were pretty peaceful, but this lady came up to his car. She hit him first, and she's banging on the hood, and people are trying to hold the car back, and he just drove away, drove over, broke her leg or something, and took off. Now,
Wait, I do have a correction. It is not Broward County. I thought it was.
Oh.
But anyways, I forget what county it is. Sounds like Broward, but
okay.
But it's in Florida.
But the point is the guy makes sense, right? And I don't know what you guys out there would do in this situation. And comment, please. We want to hear what you would do. But if you got your family in your car, if you got kids, whatever, and you drive into this mob and they trying to stop you and they're banging on the windows and banging on your car and doing all this, what would you do?
That's right.
There's a poll. I'll put a poll up on a YouTube channel. What would you do in that situation? For me, I would try to drive and push my way through if I could. I don't want to run over anybody, but I certainly wouldn't want my family involved in that, especially with my young grandkids and stuff. So
That's right.
It's a tough decision to make, but these people were asking for it. And you said at dinner, L.A. the normal people,
normal people are getting fed up with this. They are getting fed up. They just want to go to work. They want to live their lives, and these people are laying in the streets, jumping on their hoods, doing all that stuff, and that's why this sheriff of this town in Florida really gave it to them and said, "Listen, you do any of this stuff, like the clip that we just saw, you do any of this stuff, there's going to be consequences."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Don't blame them.
compared to like the sanctuary cities that are around the country, Chicago and L.A., New York, and all that.
Well, before we get into the war thing, because that's going to be a little bit longer, look at this other page here. This Vance Bolter. This is the man that shot two Minnesota lawmakers
Yes.
and their spouses.
Yes.
And this, they said it was politically motivated.
Right.
Happened early Saturday morning. And he's in custody. And they won't give him probation. I mean, we won't give him bail.
Right.
Thank God they're going to hold him.
Right.
But didn't they start with that it was a Republican shooting a Democrat or
Well,
something like that?
that was in the beginning, and I was looking into this, but then since then, other things have come out. But evidently, the one congresswoman that he shot, I forget her name. Don't get old, but I forget her name. The one that died,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I forget her name. But anyway, the poor thing. She's a Democrat, and she voted a bill for their county not to fund illegal aliens, not to give them health benefits and things like that.
Right.
She was the deciding vote, and she felt like in the budget of that bill, it wasn't good to do that, so she voted against it.
There.
Yeah, you don't kill anybody. You don't kill officials. You don't do that. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, but he had a whole list of people he wanted to kill.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, you get on these lists and it's, and then speaking of these assassination attempts, right? There was 2 or 3 on Trump.
Right.
And Netanyahu said in a conference, he was just talking and said,
Well, he was talking to Brett Baer. He had
Brett Baer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, and he mentioned that Iran was behind both of them.
By proxy. Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, he was kind of saying, now, what bothers me about that, and I kind of believe that, but what bothers me is to say that on the air and all that, and
Yes.
and talk about making things even worse than what they are. Not that I'm trying to say we should hide our head in the sand, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's the same thing I said that, when he kind of set up the African
Right.
leader there,
Right.
and he ambushed him.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing. You want to
Same
do it in
thing.
front of all the cameras.
Right.
During a news briefing today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu signaled that he is not interested in a ceasefire with Iran. Netanyahu reiterated that Israel's goal in starting this escalation Friday is to eliminate Iran's nuclear program, its ballistic missile production, and the terror axis. First of all, we are interested in achieving the result I mentioned, the elimination of the 3 threats I outlined, he said when asked about a ceasefire with Iran. We are not backing down from that, and the people of Israel will not settle for less. Netanyahu did not rule out regime change or the assassination of Ayatollah Ali Hosseini Khamenei. We will do whatever is necessary, he said. Iran's targets include key Israeli military hubs, according to the Iranian Student News Network, a semi-official state news agency. The sites, which include the Ramat David Air Base, are known as the main hubs behind attacks on Iran, according to the outlet. Attacks on these hubs are expected in the coming hours.
So we got a hell of a mess out there, guys. We got, Israel and Iran going at it. Now, as I was driving here just now, we just left dinner. There was a whole bunch of missiles coming in again from Iran.
Yes, there were.
And I was listening to Fox News, and they were taking cover because all these things started coming over again. They said that they could have thousands hidden in the mountains and hidden underground, things like that they're going to keep lobbing over.
Right.
And Iran's, it's not good either way. This is a bad thing that's happening. But Israel is really doing territorial strikes to military bases and different things like that, But they're just lobbing missiles into, civilian area.
Right.
They're talking about millions and millions of people that are either in shelters or trying to exit the city. There was somebody that showed a highway that exits Tel Aviv, I think it was.
Right. Yeah.
it's just packed with cars. There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. I know.
You know. So I just feel really bad for both sides. I mean, civilians, even in Iran, look, we know a majority of the population there does not approve of their regime. And Iran, everybody around Iran, too, other Arab countries are not happy with these guys at all. So, they're kind of alone on their island. And, I just feel, even though we don't want to be involved, Trump is talking to
Well, he gave the
Netanyahu.
Ayatollah 60 days
That's
to make
right.
a deal.
Yeah.
The guy didn't want to do it. Now the 60 days is up, and now the guy supposedly the other day when we were driving into Jersey, I told you it was just on the news that he wants to have talks now.
Yes.
But yet that fell apart. And Trump has kind of told him, your 60 days are up. I gave you 60 days to make a deal. I told you to make a deal. And he didn't want to do it. So I don't know what's going on. He's, like you said, Trump is ordering these people out of Tehran.
Well, Trump told Netanyahu initially when the October 7th thing happened,
Right.
don't go in there yet. We're going to give him 60 days. We're going to, talk to him. We're going to try to get a deal so that you're not in danger anymore. And like you said, deal fell through. 65 days, and Trump said, okay. So he told Netanyahu, do what you got to do.
Right.
And that's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
And
yeah, Trump doesn't want war.
No.
What I think, this is my opinion. What I think they're telling everybody to get out of Tehran. Trump just had a big meeting in the war room, that as they call it, or the situation room. I don't know. I think these bunker bombs that they have that can go underneath whatever, because supposedly they have 2 or 3 nuclear sites in the mountains or something like that.
Right.
I think Trump is going to give this is my opinion. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think Trump's going to give the order to use those bombs just for those bunkers. They'll blow them out. And I think
Trump, in his first term, Trump used a couple of those.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Against,
they're like 30,000 pounds or something like that.
Yeah,
they're huge.
It's the largest bomb next to a nuclear bomb.
Right, yeah.
And it blew a freaking hole and just got rid of everybody underground.
Right.
It literally goes through cement. Like, it can go through 2 feet of cement or more. Just pierce it first, then it explodes.
Yep.
I mean, the technology behind some of this stuff is crazy. But, so I don't know.
I don't know either. And here's the thing. A lot of people are for us to get involved.
I know.
Then there's a lot of people, even in the Republican Party, that are against us getting involved. They're basically saying, hey, let Israel worry about it. Why do we have to worry about it? Now, Trump's moving ships, and the Nimitz class aircraft carriers going there. The Carl Vincent's going there.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of destroyers there and everything, missile destroyers. But, my feeling is I think we should do something. I know it's a kind of a bad thing. I understand. And Trump campaigned no wars. I don't want any wars. And he doesn't. Trump does not want war with anybody. But this guy that's behind the wheel of Iran is just...
for a war.
Yeah.
I think after 50 years of friendship, I have to disagree.
Well, just to give you a little background, okay, about this. Back in the Obama administration, this is how this whole thing started, even though it started in 79 when he took over from the Shah. But on August 3rd, 2016, with the Obama administration, a flight was a secret flight because on board was $400 million, and it went to Iran. In currency of francs, euros, and dollars. The cash was a bribe for the release of 4 American hostages. I don't know if you remember that. I kind of remember it.
Okay.
That were held by the mullahs, or mullahs, or whatever you call them.
Right.
The men were released shortly after, and the deal was the first installment of $1.7 billion.
For 4 people.
Right. Well, but it was 4 people, and then 1.7 was hoping that Iran would obey international law. Now, Iran did not do that.
Okay.
They didn't do that. Then along comes Biden. The disaster.
Yeah.
And Biden, we exported 400 billion barrels of oil a day when Biden was sworn in. By 23, the number had jumped to 3 million barrels a day. Byron literally made Iran wealthy again.
So we sent, yes,
Yes.
I heard that's
Yes.
true. We sent oil to them.
Right. We sent, and well, no, the mullahs were exporting 400 million barrels of oil a day. Then Biden was sworn in, and by 2023, the
Right.
number had jumped to 3 million barrels a day.
Helping Iran get back
Right.
money. And rich.
Biden literally made Iran wealthy again.
Yeah, because Trump made them
Right.
unwealthy.
Right. Trump was undoing what Obama did.
Right.
But then Biden got in and messed
Reversed
it all up.
everything.
If you remember when Trump got in, he basically started putting a lot of pressure on Iran, such as sanctions and
Right.
things like that.
Right.
But then Biden gets in and does all this, and now he's vacationing in Rehoboth Beach, and Trump's got to worry about all this crap. And, Iran, we know that Iran funded Hezbollah, funded Hamas, funded the Houthis, all with this money that we gave them.
Right. And now they probably have more missiles now
Right.
fighting with Israel.
And believe me, the
because of this.
Iranian people don't want this.
No,
The
nothing wrong.
average
No.
there's a clip. I don't know if you could play it, but there's a clip that when Israel first did the first bombing, there's a gentleman with his iPhone. He's photographing or videotaping this out his window, and he starts yelling, "Give them hell! Like bomb them, bomb them,
really?
please bomb them, get at them." But that's what happened. I mean, the average Iranian person doesn't want all this with the Ayatollahs. and all.
Nobody wants
I mean,
war.
women over there, they have to wear a burqa and they got to walk behind men.
I know.
And these people who protest here in this country talk about how, oh, we're so bad and
I
Trump
know.
is a king and he's dictator. You realize that? You can't show your face. They killed a young teen, not a young teen, she was about 18, 19 years old because she wouldn't wear a burqa.
Mm-hmm.
They flogged her to death, killed her, all because of that.
Well, I was at, and I'll never forget this. My wife and I were out to dinner. And I don't know the exact nationality of this guy, but he came in with his wife with a burqa. The only thing showing was her eyes.
It was her eyes, right?
You should have seen how this poor woman had to eat her food. Literally put it up underneath the burqa and put it in her mouth. And had to eat that way. And he's sitting there, on a
Chowing
T-shirt.
down like we do at Pizza Joe's.
Yeah. Acting cool.
Yeah.
And they had a kid there with him. But I'll never forget that. And I kept looking over and thinking, wow, look at how women are treated in other countries.
Oh, that's what
and
they
they're
are.
protests in our country.
I know.
And I was going to make another point about these protests. And what the frig is wrong with 49% of the country? Because now 51%, and I hate when Fox News does that. Well, a majority of the country approves the way Trump is handling the illegal aliens. 51%. That's not a majority.
That's not well. There's 49
Well,
that don't.
I know that.
But still, you're right. You think it should be a lot more. You would think so.
70-30
Right.
or something.
It should be 70 or 80 to 20 or something like that.
Biden shit on the immigration laws in this country. And
He
said,
let
come on
everybody in here. And they just went all over the country, and he didn't care because he wasn't really running the country.
And we said last week, you were right. Obama stopped them at the border. They didn't even come in and they turned them around. That's how he got so many guys.
Obama did the right thing.
Yeah,
he did.
Of course
he did the right thing. This guy that's fallen asleep in his soup, Biden, he just let him in. And I don't think he actually knew what he was doing. Well, you remember that clip we played about 3 or 4 episodes ago with Mike Johnson?
Yeah.
Mike Johnson saying, "Sir, you did sign this
You did,
thing."
yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't say, yes, you did. We were right here in the room. You signed it. He said, I don't remember signing that. That's why this auto pen thing is going to be a big deal.
Yeah. Well, we haven't heard too much of that because this war that's going on.
Well,
it's really eating up all the time.
Right. The war is going on, but they are starting an investigation on it.
So let me ask you a question, and this is just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
What if Iran was very powerful? Let's just using them because those are the ones we want to stop the nuclear war.
Right.
What if the leader of Iran came to our country and said, you can't have a nuke? Did anybody ever think of that? Like, who are you to tell me I can't have a nuke?
Well,
now, I know why, right? The real reason that we don't want them to have nukes is because nobody else around that area wants them to have nukes because they're going to use them.
Right, and he's a little tapped in the head.
Yeah.
You know, he wants everybody dead. He wants
Right.
all he did was talk about how the infidels, the United States and Israel,
Yeah.
and we're going to cut off the heads of the Israelis, and we're going to kill the Americans. So if Trump went and did all that, or Biden did all that, said all that rhetoric about another country,
Well, they do the same thing to us.
they probably would say, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, he's dangerous. He's got his finger on the nukes."
And I think right now, the way this thing is escalating, if they had a nuke, they'd probably shoot
Oh,
it.
they would probably. I think they would use it. Yes, I think they would. No
That's
doubt about it.
scary
But
shit.
there's another clip of the King of Saudi
How many
Arabia.
clips I'm going to put on?
Huh?
You're keeping Bobby busy here with all the clips.
Well, we got to show these
Oh, all
things.
right, what clip now? Tell me what it is so I know he gets
Saudi
it right.
Arabia. They were on, I think, 60 Minutes or something,
Okay.
and the King of Saudi Arabia was telling the person. I think it's 60 Minutes. I don't know what it is. I just saw it.
Yeah, sure.
Iran is not a rival to Saudi Arabia. Its army is not. The Saudi economy is larger than the Iranian economy. Iran is far from being equal to Saudi Arabia. Because he wants to expand. He wants to create his own project in the Middle East, very much like Hitler, who wanted to expand at the time. Many countries around the world and in Europe did not realize how dangerous Hitler was until what happened happened. I don't want to see the same events happening in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia does not want to acquire any nuclear bomb. But without a doubt, if Iran developed a nuclear bomb, we will follow suit as soon as possible.
He was saying that definitely he should be taken out.
Okay,
He's
right.
dangerous. He's gonna have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
Nobody wants this around him. Not Afghanistan, not Iraq,
Yeah.
not Saudi Arabia, not Qatar. They don't want this. Not Jordan, not Turkey. They don't want this.
And you know what? When Trump went over there, last month and a half ago,
Right.
he made friends with all these other Arab countries.
Right.
You know, they're giving him gifts. They're,
Right.
producing oil and,
Right.
So I think he
I don't know.
feels
I think
comfortable.
something's going to happen because it just showed on the headlines here. IDF calls for residents in Tehran district to evacuate ahead of attack. So IDF, that's Israel.
Yeah.
So something's going on. Something's going to happen in the next day or two, I think. And we'll be back here next week talking about that.
Yeah. My house might be smoking.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but I hope what's going to happen is that the pressure that they're putting on Iran from both sides,
Right.
and they're going to run out of missiles eventually.
Yeah.
And Israel is really going to be prominent and just take over eventually.
Right.
I hope he comes to the table. I really, really do.
Well, now wait a
We were
minute.
so close
let's
the other day.
just say we take out their nuclear areas.
Right.
Should we replace him? But I mean,
Not
now
if
how do
he's-
we replace him? Do we actually replace him, or does Israel, or do they say, okay, he's gone, you guys can elect who you want to the citizens of Iran? I mean, that's the other big argument that's going on. What do you do afterwards? I mean, do you kill this guy, or you just take him out, and then who do you put there? Now, supposedly, the Shah of Iran, who had a defect from the country back in '79.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they had the hostages and all that jazz.
Oh yeah.
That's when the mullahs took over. The Shah's son supposedly has talked about he would love to go back to Iran and run it, but everybody's saying that he's very weak. He's a weak type of person. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy, but that's about it. They don't know if he can actually do a good job running the country or not.
I think what I think everybody's worried about is even if this guy comes to the table and signs a treaty, he's not going to break it. I don't know if it's going to stick.
Right.
But we got to be able to get in there and inspect and inspect and inspect.
Right. Yep.
But you got to think about this too. And I don't want to bring back old memories here, but when Bush was in office, Bush Jr.,
Yeah.
he claimed that they had all these
The
Iraq,
weapons of mass destruction.
And there
back
was
in
nothing
Iraq.
there.
There was really nothing.
They were
there.
not making mass
know.
destruction, and it was a way to get in and get a war started.
Well, then that brings up the Tulsi Gabbard thing.
Oh, yes.
Now, Tulsi Gabbard is what, the security advisor or something for, I don't know what her actual, but she told Trump they're not doing nuclear uranium or enriching it or whatever they're doing.
Uranium enriching, yeah.
They're not doing that. Trump kind of ignored her and said, well, yes, they are. I don't care what you say. They are doing it.
Director of National Security, she is.
Right.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's going on too. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you know, and we got to watch it. I want to watch it myself, and we'll have answers next week. But, uh, you know, everybody's reporting that he said, "I don't care what she said." You know, Trump
Right.
said that about Gabbard.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know. You know, she was a tough one to get in anyway.
I know.
So I don't know what's going on with that relationship. We don't need anything else to fall apart here.
No, we don't. We don't need anything else falling apart.
But
And I'm hoping that these freaking tariffs take hold. I mean, I know we made a deal with Canada. We made a deal with Great Britain
yep, and China,
and China.
they're
We
just getting
did?
it done on paper.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Now,
I just hope it takes effect.
yes,
Because it's funny, for instance, the gasoline. I'm driving all over Jersey because of the job that I got right now. One minute I see a gas station, regular unleaded. I keep
Yeah.
saying it unleaded. My daughters keep saying, Dad, unleaded went away in the 70s.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just gas.
It's just gas now. Yeah, no designation.
Yeah, no designation.
I want that lead.
But you see one gas station, regular, 305, 310. And this is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, a mile, 2 miles down the road, I see a gas station, 289, 285. And I'm going, well, what's going on here?
Well, I can
there
tell
be
you
that
this.
much difference?
Well, no, but a lot of price differences that you see is because the last delivered shipment was higher. So
Oh.
they're getting rid of that shipment.
Oh,
And
I
if the
see.
next fill is lower, then we get a lower price. However, since we live in Pennsylvania, gas is one of the most expensive across the country.
Yeah, we have, yeah. And we
Like
got to pump our
third.
own.
Yeah, yeah, we got to pump our own. Nobody comes out like 8 guys to wash the windows and do all that shit, right? But the gas station right down by my house, it was $3.19, and now it's back up to $3.39, 20 cents.
I know.
And that's because the minute there's a disruption in the oil production over there,
Yeah.
this, folks, is why we need to drill, baby, drill, and be oil independent of this stuff. Because when wars start, barrels of oil go up and we get hit because it's coming from over there.
Right.
If we produce our own, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
We'll get better prices. So, and we talk all the time, we need to start getting prices down. Now, eggs are down, this is down, job market looks great, inflation's the lowest increase it's ever been for a long time, 10 years, whatever it is.
Yep.
But now gas was coming down. I mean, they were down to 319, which is still high, but and I saw some at 299, 310, you know, whatever. But now, boom, we're getting a spike again because of this war.
Yeah.
Now, Amazon, I don't know the exact dates, July something to something. They're doing it for 4 days. Is that special they run that you get lower prices on a lot of stuff.
Well,
Now, news was reporting it because, before the tariffs hit. Well, you know what? We're not feeling anything yet on the tariffs.
no, I don't really feel
and
that
if
much.
he gets
either.
these deals done before we start feeling it,
Yeah.
maybe it's not as bad as it was. Think we thought, right? I don't know. Amazon's going to drop their prices 30, 40%. How are you doing that? You know?
This just in, U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem is closed for the remainder of the week.
Well, they evacuate everybody out of there too, right?
Yep, I guess.
I just hope Iran does not go after any of our boats
Well,
or our people, because that's what's going to drag us in, and they know it too,
yeah.
and that's a problem. We don't need this shit right now. I'm telling you, there's so much going on. There's so
Well,
many people that hate Trump. There's so much crap.
If we do the bunker bombs or whatever they're called, I hope it works. But even if we just give them to Israel
We're still
and they use them and they work, hopefully this guy will come to his senses. The mullahs there or whatever they're called. I don't even
the
know.
moops.
Moops.
It's the moops. Sorry, the card says moops.
Moops. It's moops.
Seinfeld
Remember that in
reference.
Seinfeld? It's moops, Bubble Boy.
Yeah, Bubble Boy.
No, it's not.
It's
Yes,
the
it is.
Moors.
It is.
It's the Moors. No,
Oh,
it's
you know
the-
what I saw
It's
today?
the moops.
You know what I saw today? You guys would appreciate it if you're into older TV. Pencil?
Oh, lead,
Lead? Aristophanes.
lead, graphite.
Graphite.
No.
That's the Odd Couple.
So the Odd Couple. Yeah, there was an old the '70s Odd Couple.
you get it right.
Used the wrong password. Yeah. Aristophanes.
Oh, it's
Ridiculous.
such good TV.
Such good TV.
Oh my God, so good.
That was one of the best. I'm not talking Alan Ludden. Oh, good. Pretty good. So, folks, we're dealing with a lot of shit, and let's just see what happens. Keep our fingers crossed that we get this thing put to bed. As it is, we're still worried about everything else that's going on out there, trying to get the other wars calmed down.
I know.
And then this thing starts.
Let's talk about something that's nice. You and I went out to
I'm
Jersey
not
yesterday.
nice.
No, yeah, you're nice.
Oh, okay.
You and I go out to Jersey yesterday, and I've been having this in my car for a long time, and Joe just got his new car recently in the last year. Apple CarPlay. I think it's amazing what you could do with Apple CarPlay. You can answer texts. You can receive texts. You can answer them back. You can
Hands-free.
pull up any music that you want, anything, with Apple Music. And I know you could do that with other music platforms too, but it's just amazing what you could do. I mean, and you just talk to the car and it'll play. I remember when we were younger, you have to record your best songs on a cassette,
Yeah.
and you only got a 90-minute cassette.
Right.
45 minutes on
You
the
gotta flip
45. Yeah, you had to turn it, the whole 9 yards. And you're wondering, and you sat there for an hour trying to put the music onto the cassette.
Then it
Now
means-
you just tell it,
Then it
and
means-
it downloads, and it's so cool. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure people got it all. A lot of, all the new cars have it. They,
Yeah.
the ability to do it.
GM was thinking about getting rid of Apple Play because they
Right.
want you to buy their services, and people said, we're not going to buy your cars.
That was they wanted the Google, whatever it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not
no,
gonna buy it.
They can't do that.
But
I
you know
mean,
what? Listen, for
they
all
do.
you-
I mean, that's
For
pretty
all you
bad.
people that only know digital music, here's what you used to hear between songs on a cassette.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah, that's
That was
right.
it. Yeah, and CDs got rid of that because it was all digital. But now there's no CDs. There's nothing anymore.
Oh, it's so good. We went up to Maine last week, and I got my phone paired up to the car, and I got the big screen on there. And my wife, who's a big R&B lover from the 70s and 80s, and I am too. I like all that type of music. I mean, she would say, Al Green, boom, the thing starts playing.
Yeah.
Smokey Robinson, plays anything by Smokey Robinson. I mean, it just, Earth, Wind, and Fire, boom, it comes up there.
Yeah.
And plays music like it.
Right,
Right.
right.
Like if you ask
Like
for an
the
Earth,
genre.
Wind, and if you ask for
Genre,
a Lou Rawls song, it'll play stuff like
Right.
Luther Vandross too, also, and and then if you want, like you had a playlist with all different things,
Yeah.
very eclectic playlist. You had 1 minute Led Zeppelin, and then it went to Barry Manilow, and then it went to,
Well, don't go Barry Manilow, but Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra. But no, you had other
then
things,
Tony
the Bee
Bennett.
Gees,
Yeah.
and Pavarotti, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Pavarotti. Yeah.
I mean, it's really amazing what you could do with this.
I don't even know how many songs I got on the phone.
Oh, I'm
You saw me scrolling
sure
the other day.
I'm sure I got probably
And the Apple
10,000,
service is
12,000.
$14 a month, I think, or
Yeah.
something. And you get
Well,
any
I pay 10 something for the Apple One.
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is.
Apple One. Yeah,
or
10
maybe
bucks,
it's
$11.
$12. I don't know.
And instead of, remember when it first came out, Apple used to buy each song 99 cents.
99 cents. Now you just
Now
buy
you
this.
just get it.
Yeah, it's just
buys it,
and
get
you
it
just
when
talk
want.
to it and it plays whatever song you want.
Right, and then
Like
most,
I just found out Rick Derringer died. He died in March or
Oh,
no
yeah.
May or March.
Rock
I just
and
found
roll.
yeah rock and roll hoochie coo, and he
Hoochie Coo.
played with Johnny Winter.
Yes.
And actually, that song was Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo was written by Johnny Winter, but Rick Derringer made a hit out of it.
Well, and that was the only hit on that album. The rest of the album was not that great.
Well, Rick Derringer did another song, Sloopy, Hang On.
Oh, yeah,
Sloopy,
did he?
Hang
That
On, or
was him?
whatever it was. But anyway, I liked Rick Derringer. I always did. And it was just, I heard that he died by listening to the radio, and then I went to Apple Music. I say, play Rick Derringer. The thing just, boom.
Yeah.
It's so cool that you can do this.
I know.
I think,
And now,
the young people today, they're taking all this for granted. Oh,
yeah, I didn't know how it works. They all know. My wife can't even find a channel on TV.
Yeah.
Tonight, I got it, and she's not watching, so I can say this. She wanted to watch.
MASH.
How do I train my dragon? Right, it's an animated.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
on Max.
right,
right, which used to be HBO Showtime. I don't know what they call it, Max, whatever. So I set, because all she watches is antenna television. 3.1, 5.8, 6.1. Me TV, all that shit.
Yeah.
And it's easy for her, and I understand. It's easy. But said, set me up so I could watch this movie when you go out to dinner. So I said, all right. So I set it all up, and I started the movie, and I hit one button that paused it. And I said, when you're ready to watch, push this button.
And that's it.
Start.
Right.
I come home, the TV's all fucked up. Everything's all, she's on Newsmax thing, yelling at me. I'm like,
Yeah.
hon, you hit the wrong button. You must have hit home.
Right.
Because that's what it looked like. She was on the home screen for YouTube TV or
Right. Yep.
Amazon stick, Fire Stick, whatever.
Yep.
Anyway, she's funny. I love her to death. But boy, when it comes to technology, she doesn't want nothing to do with it. And that's a shame because for her, just being able to talk to like Apple Play, right? You just push the button or you just say, hey Siri,
Right.
sorry, take me to Manhattan.
Oh yeah, just with that is unbelievable.
I like it because I'm getting really old, and if I get lost one day, I can go, hey Siri, take me home.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, now my wife is now. It's getting a little ridiculous. Now she says, "Hey Siri, can you do the dishes?"
Yeah.
Hey Siri, can you do the laundry?
No.
Well, no. See,
I'm afraid not. See, that's what it said.
but pretty soon, Musk robots you can do that with.
Yeah, that's
They'll
right.
do the
And
dishes.
they could be cute too.
Yeah. Yeah, like all this, the AI, realistic
AI.
looking girls, and they have the old men touching them.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's all over YouTube. Talk about making us look like perverts. He's going to adjust her. Yeah. Really? Oh, if they're hit, they're getting views. By the way, my honeymooners clips are taking off.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're doing good with the baby stuff.
67,000.
Putting all the baby stuff.
The baby stuff.
And going back to the ladies, the AI with the big boobs and
Yeah.
everything. Did you hear the one about the man that walked up to the lady standing on the corner? She had real big boobs. So he puts his hands right on her boobs, and she says, "Sir, kindly move your hands." He said, "Okay."
Yeah. Great. No problem.
No problem.
All right. That's about it. Let's say a little prayer. We get this thing wrapped up. You have anything else?
No, not really.
Yeah, we did a little music today. We did a little thing like we do. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
We're 38 minutes in, so
Yep.
I think that's a wrap. That's number 26. Wow.
Oh, now look, just came over the wire. Now they're questioning this man's politics that killed the senator in Minnesota, the senator and her husband.
Yeah.
Now they're questioning the politics. Now things are going to get a little different now.
Yeah, they're probably, well, hopefully he says he's a Democrat that hates Democrats.
I hope it's just some lone wolf.
They're nuts. They're all mental.
Oh, did you see some of these riots? Some people walking in and they're talking to these people at these No King riots.
Yeah.
They're nuts.
I
They
know.
are unhinged.
Yeah,
They're unhinged.
I know.
I
Yes.
just can't believe it.
There was one I showed Bill. It's a lady, bald head, and she's hanging onto an ice truck trying to block
Right.
the truck.
I know.
At the top of her lungs, look like she's going to have a heart attack. Don't let my people go. Let my people go. You're as white as they can. They're not your people. And then the truck's making her walk backwards like this, right?
Right.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
And it just, it just doesn't make any sense. All these protesters are all waving Mexican flags, but they don't want to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
It's nuts. They don't want to go to Mexico. They just,
I gotta tell you. I know I want to end the show, but there was a guy. There's a picture of him in the hospital. He had a rubber bullet hit him in the eye.
Huh.
Protester. You should have seen the comments. They were so funny, and people were they were writing EYE. I guess he shouldn't have been there. One was it's all fun and games until you take an eye out. Stuff, and it was just constant like that, like busting his chops because you know what?
Yeah.
If you were home, you wouldn't have got hit in the eye.
That's right.
You know, but there were so many I couldn't even remember them. But the eye stuff, it was good.
But it's crazy. And then you go to if they want to go back to Mexico because they hate this country, then they get persecuted over there because of all the cartels and everything. They're all getting murdered over there. I mean, it's nuts. It really is.
These violent protests are, a lot of them are paid. And
That's the other.
Another guy wrote, was it worth the $200? You get hit in the eye.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all these people that are with the heiress from Walmart, the girl from Walmart.
Yeah.
She's a billionaire. Supposedly she hates Trump. She hates the Republic. She hates the whole world.
Hates
everybody.
hates
She's
everybody.
a billionaire.
Yeah, sure.
She's got everything to her that she could use. I mean, she's got a
Possibly
beautiful
have.
house, this, that, and the
Yeah.
other thing, and
Yeah.
she hates America.
Security.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna dig a hole.
And she wasn't even involved with Walmart, even though that she's just related to them. She didn't do anything to build the business up.
Right.
And she hates America. Unbelievable.
Of course. I'm telling you, I'm gonna dig a giant bunker underground. I'm gonna hide in there forever.
Yeah.
But all right, we're gonna wrap up. This is good.
All
I'm
righty.
Joe. This is Bill.
Yeah, I'm Bill.
I'm Joe. He's Bill. See
I'm
you.
clean. He's granted. I'm clean.
See you. He's crammed and unclean. That's a honeymooners thing.
Honeymooners. Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. We're 40 plus minutes in, so we got some work to do.
All righty.
Good luck, America.
Yep. See ya. Bye. See you next week.